Hello. Welcome. Dare I say it? Yeah, I'll say it. It's great to have you. Welcome. Um, Sorry, I know this is not my usual setting. I don't have a ton of time to make a video today. Funny enough, this was a move I was waiting to have happen before I made another video. I just didn't think it would happen now. But Bradley Beal, the much maligned Phoenix Suns star, former superstar, I don't know. Some controversial views on him before, conflicting views on him before, but sorry, I'm doing my best to hold it steady, but just got bought out by the Phoenix Suns. Well, I guess waived and stretched is the term. I mean, he got bought out, right? So I can't find any exact deals on the buyout, but I know no matter what, this gets them under the second apron and subsequently out of the repeater tax, which is big. Suns have had a very expensive roster the past couple of years, and the repeater tax ends up getting very expensive. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact number, but I mean, the way the luxury tax works is the further you get into it, the more you have to pay. It's a tax, so, you know, if you're X into it, you may have to pay 10% more. If you're Y into it, you may have to pay 20% more, right? Don't, not exact numbers, but you get what I'm saying. First apron, more tax. Stay in it long enough, you might lose. No, that's for the second aprons. More tax. Can't do things with certain players. Can't acquire, I think, contracts. You can't acquire too much more salary than you're shipping out in trades. It limits you in the buyout market. Just simple things like that. Second apron, you can't acquire any more salary at all. It has to be, dollar for dollar. You can't make certain trades, and your roster is going to be a hell of a lot more expensive. And I think you can potentially lose a second if you're in it for long enough. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, this gets them out of the second apron and into the first apron. This is still a very expensive roster. Devin Booker did sign that $75 million extension we talked about. That doesn't kick in for a couple years, so he's still at a reasonable price, but you still have guys like Grayson Allen, you still have guys, I don't know, like Nick Rip, this gets them under the apron, but it's still a very expensive roster, and you're paying Bradley Beal now. I guess he had 2 years left, stretched to $15 million a year, 10-15 million, because he had 2 years left with the player option, I want to say. So what, I think it might have been 2 years left if he picked up the player option, which he would. But anyways, Beal reportedly took was willing to take 14 million less if it meant he could be off the team. Fair enough. And he signs with the Clippers. Now, I was not big on the Clippers moving Norman Powell, but I did say if they were able to get this done, I would like that deal a lot more. Now, there's an argument to make that Norm Powell is a better player, perhaps. I don't know if I'd make that argument, but he's at the very least a better fit. But I will say this. This is a team that has struggled with playmaking. This is a team that has struggled with creation. This is a team that has struggled with scoring. What is Bradley Beal good at? Secondary playmaking. Secondary to sometimes initial creation. And he can score. Is he the Bradley Beal of old where he's going to average, 35 and 5? No. Right? We won't see that Bradley Beal again. But he's a really good three-point shooter still. Last year, shot about 43%. 2 years ago, shot about 43%. I think 37% last year. Can still hit threes. I think is more moldable than people give him credit for. I just think in Phoenix, it was an awful fit. You can only do so much if you're Bradley Beal. They needed a 3-and-D role player who can create as well. Who can create in the post specifically as well. And, 6'4" Bradley Beal just can't do that. But I like this fit on the Clippers. I think it's an interesting fit with Giannis, or not, Jesus, with Kawhi. Kawhi and Harden, not Giannis, sorry, because there was rumors of him signing to the Bucks. I think it's an interesting fit with Kawhi and Harden. I think I said Giannis again, sorry. With Kawhi and Harden. I'm curious the role that he ends up having. I wouldn't be shocked if they brought him back, of course, but if we saw like a Amir Coffey start over him, if we saw like a Chris Dunn start over him, because I think they have enough creation at that guard spot, at their guard spot with Harden and to some extent Zubats. And just the fit with Harden and Beal isn't great. Beal, I think, can be, solid catch-and-shoot jump shooter, guy who can move off the ball a bit, but I don't know if you want him next to Harden, somebody who is so heliocentric, somebody who is the system. If you know, you know. I can explain that fairly quickly. James Harden was asked, like, oh, why don't you think it worked in Brooklyn? And I think he said something along the lines of, they didn't want a system player, but I am the system. But I think if he starts in a lineup with Harden, with Kawhi, with probably John Collins, and with Zubats, I like that lineup offensively, but defensively, that's kind of disgusting. Obviously, Kawhi, great defender, not the defender he was. Harden, turnstile. Beal, better when he has a low offensive load, but still not very good. And Zubats, DPOY candidate, right? That only goes so far in a very, very talented, especially offensively talented West. But I think if Beal's coming off the bench, being his spot starter, getting some shots off, hitting some open threes, playing that Norm Powell role, I think he's going to be really good. The reason I know you're probably saying, oh, well, Norm Powell started. If Bradley Beal is a similar caliber player, not a little bit better, doesn't it make more sense? Norm Powell is an elite three-point shooter, and Bradley Beal just isn't. He's a good three-point shooter, dare I say great three-point shooter, but he's not Norman Powell. Norman Powell had some movement of ability. Norman Powell was a very good spot-up player, still is a very good spot-up player, and was also better, in my opinion, at attacking closeouts than Bradley Beal. And that's something that the Clippers need. We'll see if they're able to make another move, but I like this move, honestly, for both sides. For Phoenix, I personally would have rather just waited him out. I think at some point, if that situation is miserable enough, look at this bald spot, good God. Looks like I'm 1/5 face, bald hair. But, it's not great. I'm on minoxidil, but no. For Phoenix, I'd probably prefer to wait this out. I honestly think that situation is just so miserable and so toxic vibes-wise that he might have just been like, fuck it, get me out of here. I'll waive my no-trade clause. There reportedly were teams who were interested in trading for him. I guarantee you, Brooklyn, if they're willing to take Maga Porter Jr.'s salary, they'll be willing to take Bradley Beal's salary, and they could have, right? Like, they have the space for it. But neither here nor there. But I understand the move completely. This Phoenix roster is going to be gross. We're going to see a lot of Grayson Allen creation. We just are. Like, Devin Booker and Grayson Allen might be the leading usage players on this team. Like, they just don't really have any other shot creators. It's just as simple as that. But we'll have to see. I would have liked the Beal and Malwalk fit, but I think it's fine. End of the day, I totally get it. Matt Ishbia, just another failed example of him trying to be a GM, I guess. He's the owner, I know, but see, I like the Common pick. I like the Sorber pick. Issue is, again, neither of those are shot creators, but I think it'll be an interesting team to watch. I don't think they'll be very good, but I think it'll be an interesting and fun team to watch. I don't think Beal really affected Fleming or Common all that much, if at all. maybe he took a shot or two away from them, but neither are very high usage players. So, and then for the Clippers, I've sort of given my thoughts. He's not a perfect fit into that Norman Powell role, but Clippers got better. I'd say substantially better this offseason. I think if they can stay healthy, they won't. But I think if they can stay healthy, I don't think it would be absurd to say they could make a semi to conference finals. Especially in a West that is older, that has sort of weird talent. Just a very traditional team like the Clippers with some versatile bigs, with some alternate lineups they can play. Collins at the 5, Brook at the 5, Zoo at the 5. Like, they got options. Kawhi at the 5. I don't know if you probably do that anymore with his health, but yeah. The deal with Beal bars was 2 years, $11 million, so this doesn't really affect their cap situation all that much. I believe they are in the second apron barely, but they have been, I think, since its inception. Because you have 3 max players with George, of course. Now he's gone, but 3 max players with George. That's just where you're going to end up. I think they're fine with that. Steve Ballmer's rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. You're rich as hell. But, yeah. So I like this move for the Clippers, at least. And I get it for the Suns. I don't think I would have done it, but I get it, right? Like, not many other options you had. Like, if you really needed Beal gone, fine. Again, I don't know the details of his buyout. It's going to end up being about $15 to $20 million a year. He was on a similar contract to Dame. But yeah, 5-year buyout, and Clippers get Beal. Again, they might be a scary team. Let's see. Derek Lively, I'm trying to just recall any other news. Derek Lively had surgery to clean up his foot, I believe. Bone spurs, which, common surgery. Obviously, you worry about it with a center, but that's just going to happen. I guarantee you that a cleanup surgery like that is going to happen much more. Paul George, this is the one I am worried about. Cleanup on his meniscus, I want to say. I'm so sorry. I should have checked. I don't have my laptop, otherwise I would. But I want to say cleanup on his meniscus area. I'll see if I can Google it while we're talking. But cleanup on his meniscus. Paul George, again, an older player. Somebody who very clearly has had some tough injury luck. He apparently got injured in practice. I don't love that. I mean, obviously something like that can be, very much a freak injury. Can just, shit happens at the end of the day. But for that meniscus, that's something that we've seen with Joel Embiid, who we've heard nothing about him at all. I'm a little bit worried. Excuse me. I worry Joel just might be done. Sorry, I'm looking up Shams right now. Bone spurs for Derek Lively. Arthroscopic procedure on his left knee Monday to treat an injury suffered during a recent workout. Okay, well, I guess it's believed to be a meniscus surgery. I'm looking this up on an Xbox because I went down here to record and then I got a bounce after this, but yeah. So I'm worried, but ultimately he should be back for camp. I think he'll be back long before camp. It's not a crazy surgery, but it's not a common surgery. No, risk of it not going well, but the fact that it is, in a sensitive area, he is an older player. It's an area that has a lot of wear and tear. I'm a bit worried about it, right? Like, I don't love it. And again, we haven't heard anything from Joel. He might just be cooked. As much as I hate to say it, I think he's cooked. If he does come back and he does, have some miracle surgery, then I doubt he ends up playing more than like Kawhi. But the MVP, Joel, we know is gone. Like, may make all-star teams. Could make like an all-NBA third team, maybe. if he played 65 games, which I don't think he ever will, unfortunately. People have been talking about him getting that Lonzo Ball, getting my former Lakers mixed up. That Lonzo Ball surgery where you literally just replace your meniscus. The issue is Joel Embiid is 7 feet 2 inches. Not many people who are dying or willing to give up their, meniscus that are 7'2". Like, 7'2" people are hard to come by. Somebody who can give up their meniscus and is 7'2" with the functional meniscus, it's gonna be rare. So I worry Joel's cooked. We'll have to see what the Sixers do. I've liked some of their moves so far. I liked the draft they had. I thought that was just like a totally fine draft. Sorry, my voice is getting chilly. I'm not crying. My throat just hurts. But yeah, we'll have to see what they do. Let's see. Any other news? I think I said this during the time, but it is funny that Marvin Bagley got traded from the Wizards and he re-signed there. Here we go. Milwaukee Bucks resetting Chris Livingston on a fully guaranteed 1 year $2.3 million deal. Rich Paul, Brett Kavanaugh Jr., Brandon Kavanaugh. I don't think they have any relation. Just I'm political. Of Clutch Sports tells ESPN, Livingston, 58th pick in the 2023 NBA draft, receives a third consecutive year on a guaranteed contract. Livingston, still fairly young. A player I didn't hate coming out in the draft. I wasn't terribly high on him. I thought it was an appropriate range where he was took. I had him higher than that, but not by much. Been killing it in the G League. I think he's averaged like 20-7 on 50-37. Obviously, G League, but with a team that has as little depth this year as this team does, Livingston, he's probably a power forward, small forward maybe, but probably a power forward, and an interesting enough player. If he can continue to hit his shots, can maybe fit next to Giannis, but I have to imagine they prioritize, Turner and Tyler Smith, and I think they got a late second round center. But anyways, I doubt we hear much from our old friend Chris Livingston, but I like the deal. $2.3 million, totally fine. End of your roster guy with a bit of potential. Do it. Take that swing. But yeah. I'll scroll through one more time and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Johnny Broom apparently cooked. Isaiah Collier has looked awful. Lakers, I talked about this a little bit. What I predicted is LeBron's not going anywhere. Picked up his player option. Lakers say they're going to try and trade him. I wonder if they just keep him. I think it might be wisest to keep him. But if they do trade him, it'll be around the deadline, likely. Nobody has cap space is the issue. And the big salary deals aren't really going to be moved. And the deals that likely will be moved won't be able to be moved until like December. But we'll have to see. It might be wise, honestly, for them to keep him. Try and get Luka to re-sign. Luka honestly seems miserable there. Not great, but yeah, we'll have to see. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I know I said I will try and do a free agency recap. I'm going to try and do that this Saturday. Just need a little bit more time. I want to go in depth with it. I want to film like a real substantial video of getting into cap, getting into all that. So I'm going to do my best to get that out Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't make any promises. I might have to work Saturday, but I'm going to do my best. And if any more major free agency news comes out, we'll talk about it. But yeah, peace. Love you guys.